So today we're back with another realistic rebuild, but before we hop into today's video, I want to talk to you about my second channel. I've been really inconsistent with it, but I do have a lot of plans for MLB The Show 21. A lot of you guys have been asking for like Diamond Dynasty gameplay, so if you guys are looking forward to that, it'll be on that channel. I want to keep this channel to franchise content, and with that being said, I want to push a second channel for other baseball games or Diamond Dynasty content, just basically anything else that isn't franchise content. So if you guys are looking for other content from me, it'll be in the pinned comment down below. Go check it out. It's my second channel. So let's talk about today's video with the Baltimore Orioles, one of the worst teams in baseball. I mean, they are bad. They're down there with the Pirates, and we're gonna do a realistic rebuild with them because I feel like it's gonna be a pretty good challenge. So let's hop into it. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit that thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content, and of course, get in the comment section. Let me know who's worse, the Pirates or the Orioles. So of course, roster is always below me, and this is the user ID or online ID of the person. Just use the most recent one. And then you guys are always asking me. I literally put it within like the first 2 minutes of the video. Just be patient. It'll be on the screen. So there you go. Let's take a look at this team. The Orioles, they're not good. I mean, when John Means is your ace, oh boy, you know you're in trouble. We've got King Felix, Keegan Aiken, Dean Kremer. We've got Wade LeBlanc and Jorge Lopez. DL Hall and Grayson Rodriguez potentially could help us out. But for the meantime, we're in a lot of trouble. And I mean, when you look at the relief, not great. Closing pitcher, not great. I mean, Hunter Harvey, actually, the thing is, like, I don't think Hunter Harvey is a potential, but we'll leave it. I don't want to get too involved with it. You know, Severino, we have Adley Rutschman to look forward to in the future. Mountcastle, you know, we got the homie Chris Davis. Yolmer, Pat Valleca. We've got Jahmai Jones, who I think was a pretty good pickup for the Orioles. Michael Franco, another solid pickup. Rio Ruiz, we got Galvis. Who else? Trey Mancini, obviously, you know, he's coming back from his battle with cancer, which is awesome. I love to see him coming back. He's healthy. He looks like he's back and he's ready to ball out this year. You know, DJ Stewart potentially could be a pretty good bat for us. You know, that 82 power versus righties. Austin Hayes, I'm not 100% sold on, but we'll have to see how he develops. I definitely don't think he's a potential. He's one that I just know he should probably be like maybe like a 86 at best. Well, just to be smart, like realistically, there really isn't anybody that should be really high. Maybe just Adley Rutschman that should be a potential, and also Heston Kierstead, who at 58 overall, I mean, that is low. I'll just bump it up to like that. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but I'll bump him up a little bit. That should at least get him to the 60 mark. Let's see here. There we go. Perfect. 60 mark. That's okay. Just coming out of the draft, and that is the team. I mean, there's a lot that we need to change with this squad. We're obviously going to be last. We're actually 29th. So, I mean, there's that. We're not last. We at least got a little bit of power to look forward to. But with this team, I'm most likely going to start adding some players to the trade block. And I'm going to wait for now. But the players that I'm thinking I'm going to look to move are probably like Yolmer Sanchez. Who else? Probably Michael Franco. Maybe someone like a Freddie Galvis, depending on how he does. All right, so our first trade is going to be Michael Franco for Jonathan Daza and Jordan Sheffield. This is actually a trade that I got offered by the Rockies. They're about 2 games out of the wild card. I think Jonathan Daza is kind of on the edge of being I feel like I'm getting a little bit too much. Because I'm like, I know there's some talks that Jonathan Daza might even start in the outfield for the Rockies this year. And I looked around to like who else I could get, but I felt like Michael Franco's actually having a decent year. Like, it's not a bad year at all. So I felt like if we're gonna trade someone who is already in the majors, they want him. They want him to maybe start at first, maybe start at third. And Jonathan Daza's sitting in the minors, so I figured let's bring him in. We could use him as a backup outfielder, and then Jordan Sheffield's just a little bit of a pitcher that potentially could help us out. So there's one trade. I'm gonna make a couple more. Freddie Galvis isn't having the best of years, so I'm really just gonna trade him for a low-level prospect, maybe just like one of those pitchers that like isn't really developing, maybe a reliever. You know, that maybe like a couple relievers, you know, maybe like a low rated 70 reliever or something like that. We'll find someone, maybe like an aging reliever that can give us maybe a season or two. I'm going to see who's kind of lacking in like a backup shortstop, or just a shortstop in general. Are the Reds competing? Because if the Reds are competing, I might throw them an opportunity here. It doesn't look like it, so no. All right, a couple teams were interested in what's his name, Freddie Galvis. Oh, the Phillies. The Phillies are in the playoff picture, so if they want Freddie Galvis, they can have him, and I'll take something from the Phillies. I don't mind that. I'll definitely take them. So, or take something from them. So, how's Rondon's not even playing for them? Really? I'll take Rondon. I feel like that's. I'm trying to see who. Like, otherwise, I'm thinking like a really low level prospect, which I feel like they're kind of. Yeah, I feel like okay, Rondon for Freddie Galvis. I mean, it's a 1 year for a 1 year. I mean, you know what? That's fine with me. Just give me Rondon. I'm okay with that. That's a reliever we can use for a couple seasons. And then the last guy that I wanted to trade was maybe King Felix and Yolmer. Let me see who I can get for Yolmer. All right, I'm gonna trade Yolmer Sanchez for Jeffrey Rodriguez. Yolmer's not having a great year hitting wise. He's more of like a defensive replacement, which the Nationals actually offered me Jeffrey Rodriguez at one point for Yolmer. So I'm just going to take this trade. And then I want to see what King Felix is doing. Not great, so I'm not even going to trade him. I'm going to leave it there for the season. All right, so as expected, season 56 and 106. Oof, terrible. So we were last. We might be the worst team in baseball, to be honest. And I'm more worried about us being last. We were. The Pirates were slightly better than us, and I don't expect any league leaders. But I do have a plan. I want to try to get, again, probably like year 2, year 3, probably gonna be tank season. So let's just see what we can get from free agency to sign kind of players like Michael Franco, players that we can move at the deadline to give us something in return, and maybe start getting a little bit better players. That way we can get a little bit better in return. So that's kind of my mindset with this team. I mean, players like Jordan Sheffield, I think these are players, they're young. Yeah, the potential may only be C, but I think he could maybe develop into something good. I'm actually going to send him down, maybe let him develop for a season or two, but I think he could be solid. But then when you look at the rest of the bullpen, it's garbage. Like, it's just not good. Like, nobody was good. Nobody at all. And then when you look at our starting staff, it's not great either. It's just not. And like, I want to get excited. Maybe Jeffrey Rodriguez can come up. We have players like these two who I'm going to wait as long as I can, because I don't really want to throw them into the majors and they get absolutely shelled and then we're in trouble. Chris Davis hitting a cool 252. Love to see it. How did Jonathan Daza do? He was okay. Maybe needs some more game time, but when you look at the rest of the team, Austin Hayes didn't really do well. He might be a platoon guy for me going forward. Mountcastle was decent. I really want to see him develop. I really want to see him kind of be that key, that cornerstone, that piece we build around along with him. I want it to be Trey Mancini as well. Santander, not a great season, which you hate to see. Everything is going down for him. Ew. Rio Ruiz was decent. Okay, we could build with him at third. DJ Stewart, not bad. Severino was okay. And then Urias was not great. So I'm thinking maybe Jahmai Jones gets the shot at second base. Ooh, I might wait one more season. Let him develop a little bit more. And I'm really looking for a shortstop, maybe a 1 year second baseman. So probably a 1 year shortstop, 1 year second baseman. And actually leave the rest as is. I might give Daza the start in the outfield, and then pitching, definitely just whatever pitching I can get. I'm not going to go out and get me a superstar season 1. Yankees defeat the Braves in the first season. Ooh, Chris Davis retired. That's a lot of money we're going to open up. Ooh, that's actually really good for us. I'm going to bring back Rondon 1 more year just because you know what? If it's going to be a super cheap contract, and we might as well. King Felix, I'm going to let walk just because, like, I would rather have Rondon. Bullpen arms are kind of tough to get anyways, so I would rather have Rondon in the team. He did sign. Perfect. 40 man. I'm going to add Westberg just because I don't want to lose him. I'm going to add Jeffrey Rodriguez because I think he could potentially maybe be like a 5 in our rotation, which sounds terrible, but with this team, we kind of got to build slow and go from there. And I'm going to offer everybody arbitration and just see what happens. Contracts, same thing. I'm going to offer everybody a contract. And like I said, we've already talked about what I want in the team. So what can we go out and get? I'm probably looking at players like Jose Arena, 1-year deal, looking to move them at the deadline type situation. Maybe like a Desclafani as well. Who else? Maybe a Brett Anderson. Players like that. Ooh, who was that? Who is this? William Song. Doesn't look great, but with his per 9s, but he could potentially be a signing for us. I'll show you our signings. Wilson Stapleton. Nice overall. We got Omar Garcia as well, but the big one is Pablo Ortiz. Yep, that's right. Out of Mexico, 20 years old, can play across the outfield, but good hitting stats. That's really what drew me to him. He was our first pick, and then I think I took a shot on I think I took a shot on Charles Toth on the 2nd round, and then 3rd, 4th, 5th. And these were my last 2 picks. So this is the draft. I mean, we actually had a pretty good draft. I'm actually really happy about it. So there's our picks. And looking at free agency, ooh, we don't need an outfielder. Our outfield's set. Outfield's fine, especially with the players that we drafted. But the infield's maybe bring back Freddie Galvis and then move him again, or maybe take a shot with someone like Ronnie Rodriguez. I don't know. I'm gonna find some players to add to the team. I don't know who yet, but we'll find something. Season 2, and let's take a look here. Let's see what we did this offseason. So a lot of moves. Trey Mancini signed him to a long-term deal. You can see here 5 years, $10.5 million. And yeah, I really want him to stick around for the whole rebuild, and we did that. And so Luis Rengifo was sitting in free agency up until now, basically spring training. And I thought, you know what? He's a player that seems to always be on the fringe of the team, doesn't really get the chance, and he was sitting in free agency, only got 50 games last year. I thought, you know what? We could use a shortstop. He could be that guy, and he's still young. If he does well, maybe we just keep him and let him play shortstop for us. Kyle Barraclaw was someone that the CPU took at the Rule 5 draft, and to be honest, I'm okay with that. He didn't pitch last year. Doesn't always kind of seems to struggle. Maybe this is his place where he turns his career around, or if he does do well and we need some players, we can just trade him for something. Zach Godley, another one of those guys that let's just see how he does. If he does well, we keep him, or we could trade him, you know, just one of those things. Jason Kipnis is a player that I was like, we could use a second baseman and we'll just give him a shot. You know, like that's really what it comes down to. And this is the one guy that I signed purely with the idea of trading him. Sergio Romo, whatever you want to call him. He pitched a crazy amount of innings last year, did very well. So there we go. And I showed you our draft picks, and I feel like that was really about it in terms of what I did in the offseason. So, oh, I didn't mention this. Brett Anderson was signed, 1-year deal. He's probably another guy that I look to trade. But yeah, this is what we're going to rock with for the season. Jeremy Jeffers, another player I didn't mention, signed him up. I don't think he pitched at all last year. He didn't. $600K deal. I thought that was a steal. So yeah, that's what I'm working with here. I didn't even mention Jose Arena either. I just skipped over so much in free agency. 2-year club option. He's one of those guys that he would be okay sticking with the team if I could keep him. You know, maybe move him later on down to like the 4, maybe the 5. Really, I'm either looking for pieces I can like kind of implement into the team, or just ship at the deadline. It's just a weird scenario, right? So this is offensively how we're gonna line up. You know, we've got plenty of prospects. Vavra, Jahmai Jones, I think could come up for Kipnis next year. And then look at this. Shortstop. We've got plenty of shortstops. I really need them to develop quickly because currently they're looking like trade bait at this point. Adley Rutschman, I still think is another season or two away just based on his stats. Heston Kierr said the same thing. This guy, though, this guy's looking good, maybe in a season or two. So we've got some decent prospects. I'm excited to see how this team plays. We are currently, what are we? We are the 29th team. Once again, I fully expect this to be bad, though. So CPU is going to handle scouting like they should, and maybe we get a good trade. Maybe we trade one of our like top prospects to get someone really good. But again, I don't expect this to be good. The time I expect this to really start competing, maybe 4 or season 5. So we'll see. So at the deadline, we're not the worst team in baseball, but we're not doing well. And I'm looking at the players that we have. Like Jemai Jones is actually kind of struggling in AAA, and I really need his hitting stats to go up. I also don't think they're training the hitting stats, which sucks. But I'm going to trade Jason Kipnis. He's actually having a phenomenal season. I'm going to trade him to the Rockies, who are in playoff contention and could just use an extra bat. We've done business with the Rockies before. It didn't really work for us because I don't remember who we got now that I'm thinking about it, but it's just I don't think it's working. If I can't remember. Oh, we got Daza, and yeah, Daza's not doing great. He's really struggling. So I'm gonna do business with the Rockies one more time. I'm gonna get 2 relievers. I thought about going to the Padres. The Padres are also in, the mix, and I guess they could use another infielder. Jason Kipnis wouldn't be bad. Who could I get from them? Is there anybody that they're like not using that is like slightly younger that I could like? Nick Goody usually is kind of glitchy, and if I could sneak like one more in, maybe like an Altavilla, if I can get those two, or maybe a Trey Wingenter. Nah, I'm gonna go with these two, Altavilla and Goody for Jason Kipnis. So we went 63 and 99, which is actually a big improvement on what we did last year, which I'm pretty happy with. Like I don't think we were the worst team. Yeah, the Royals were worse, the Tigers were worse. Who else? The Rockies were worse, which is weird because they were actually in the mix for a little bit. Or maybe it wasn't the Rockies. Maybe it was the Diamondbacks that were. And glad I didn't do business with the Rockies then, because it wouldn't have made sense. And instead I went with the Padres. But you guys can see the playoffs, who made the playoffs by winning the division and everything like that. So the Padres did win the wild card. Looking at league leaders, Trey Mancini with home runs. Okay, that's good to see. Trey Mancini leading the league there. This is the season. This is the season where I'm gonna really try to turn this team around and start adding some players that I want to like build around, because we have Mountcastle, we have Mancini, we have a couple other guys that I think are really starting to like put things together. So I'm actually pretty excited to see what this team can do. The issue is pitching. Pitching is like really bad. I'm not even gonna like go into the like full player menu because it's just not great. Hunter Harvey's potentially a player I'd like to keep in the bullpen. Maybe Jeremy Jeffers as well. Nick Goody looks decent. Couldn't get a trade for Sergio Romo, but we do have some other arms that I'm kind of interested in seeing how they develop. And then obviously we have some youngsters as well. But Zach Godley wasn't doing well in the majors, and then I just cut Barraclaw. He was terrible. But there's that. Offensively, like I feel like this is the area where we don't really need to go crazy in signing anybody. Jemai Jones is a player that I'm probably just gonna start training his hitting. I might even call him up next year. I mean, we've got some really good offensive players that are starting to develop too in the farm system. So there's that. And like when you look at what we have here, Santander's struggling a little bit. I'm gonna give him this last year of arbitration to see how he does. If he does well, we keep him. If not, he's gone. Mountcastle struggled a little bit as well. That sucks. But Mancini was great. DJ Stewart's really good. I think he might be a player that I look to start. He's doing very well. Cedric Mullins got called up to take over for Daza. It wasn't great. Rio Ruiz not doing great either. I'm gonna give him one more year of arbitration. Pedro Severino's okay, like just your average catcher numbers. And then Severino was decent as well. I think I'm going to keep him at short, and then Ramon Urias is probably a player I'm going to look to move. Just a player he's kind of like a Yolmer Sanchez. We'll probably just trade him for a pitcher, like a reliever or something. I feel like we could get a decent reliever for him. So with that in mind, let's get into the offseason. see what we can do. The White Sox defeat the Padres. Now that would be a good World Series for sure. And exclusive negotiations. I'm going to pick up the option because most likely he's a player I'm going to look to move. Jose Urena. I don't know. I'm going to take this one. He had a okay season. How many innings did he pitch? 71. Rondon. I think I don't know. Pitchers, I think I'm going to let go. I'm going to pick up these options, though. And then I guess we let them go because they are going down in rating. No reason to keep them. And like I said, I want to start picking up players that I want to build around. I feel like we're starting to get to the point where, you know, Santander is starting to hit a good point. Mountcastle, Mancini, DJ Stewart's even surprising me. So I feel like we're starting to get to the point where some of the young guys are going to start to creep into the lineup as well. So this is the point where I need to start adding players. So I'm going to offer arbitration to... I'm going to let Jorge Lopez walk because, like I said, I'm going to let Godley walk as well. I want to spend the money on players that I want in the team. Everyone's getting a contract there. And then free agency, I think I'm going to look to add like someone like a Taijuan Walker. You know, maybe a Odorizzi, someone who's like kind of not towards the end of their career, but someone that can come in and just really kind of solidify our starting rotation. I'm not saying they're going to blow the world away, but just add those pieces that are going to start to make a difference in the team. And offensively, I think we could definitely add some sort of bat. I just don't know where yet. So I'll see you guys for season 3. All right, we're about to start season 3, and I'm in a little bit of a predicament. Not like it's a bad thing, but let me talk you through this. So we're in spring training, right? And I did say I wanted to start adding players to help us succeed, start to push towards the playoffs, start to make some changes. And I kind of went a couple years ago, the Rangers went out and signed, you know, a couple pitchers. They went out and got like Jordan Lyles, Kyle Gibson. I think they added, was it that year they added Lance Lynn as well, and then some Corey Kluber, I think, or was it Lynn, or was it whatever it was. They went out and signed like 3 decent pitchers. Obviously it didn't pan out the way they would have liked it to, but I kind of took that approach this offseason where I went out and I signed 3 pitchers. But at the same time, I feel like we could add a little bit more. I'm not saying I want to completely overhaul the team, but I do want to add a player that I noticed was his contract was expiring at the end of the year, and that is Jeimer Candelario. He's been okay, right? Like, he hasn't been anything special. I also looked at, you know, picking up like a big name of an expiring contract, which was Eugenio Suarez, but I felt like that was a little bit too much. I also looked at Brian Anderson. The Marlins are atrocious, right? They're not really improving. And I felt like, well, his contract expires, so maybe that would be someone that I could go out and get. His numbers, again, are okay. But I was looking at it, and I felt like Jeimer Candelario probably is the most realistic of the options that I could go out and get. Like, I'm looking around, and like, unless I went like Ryan McMahon, but like I feel like if I want to keep it somewhat, like, if the whole point of this is to keep it realistic, I would probably go to a team who has been towards the bottom of the standings every single season. They probably want to get back something in return for a player whose contract's expiring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Ramon Urias there. His contract is expiring as well, but they do have team control. So there was that. I also assume since it's one of the better players, they're probably going to be looking for something in return. So I'm going to give them one of our, I'm going to give them, I think I gave them Alex Wells when I was trying to figure out the deal. And then on top of that, I'm going to give them Austin Hayes. His stats don't look terrible, but I feel like I've looked at their team. They definitely could use some help. I mean, they could also just use another pitcher. I could just give them another pitcher, but I felt like I'm just going to give them Austin Hayes just to kind of sweeten the deal a little bit, and that's what's going to get me Jeimer Candelario. So now let me get the team sorted out because, well, actually, this is the reason why I also wanted to trade Austin Hayes. Brandon Nimmo's still in free agency, and this doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. We also need a leadoff hitter. and I feel like Brandon Nimmo on a, I'm gonna go, I'll do a 3-year deal. If he accepts it, he does. Oh yes, let me get this team sorted, because woof, I like the team. I like the moves we made. All right, so I'm assuming you've already seen some of the moves that I made. Obviously, we just picked up Candelario and Nimmo. And the only reason why I signed Nimmo was because he was still in free agency. Otherwise, Nimmo most likely would have never been someone that was even in my plans. But since he was sitting there, I thought, you know what? A team like the Orioles would definitely take a shot on Nimmo. I feel like they would like literally hand him a blank check and be like, whatever you want, please take it. And yeah, we were able to pick him up 8.3 mil for the next 3 years. It definitely gives us that leadoff hitter that we've been needing. Perfect. Our draft picks in Honus McAllister looks decent. The other Willie Allison, not so much. Killian Rosario was the main guy. Looks decent as a reliever. Dave Burgess, nice overall at 19. And then we had Michael Benoit, who looks really good already. And I'm excited to see how he develops. So now let's talk about free agency. So Jake Odorizzi, I said I was starting to pick up pitchers. Kind of like the Rangers did with Jordan Lyles, Kyle Gibson, etc. So I went with Odorizzi. I did a 2-year club option, $6.5 million. He just left the Astros, and I thought, you know what? Let's take a shot on him. He's 32. He could definitely help out the rotation. Next up, Lorne Finch was sitting in free agency. I thought, you know what? We could use some bullpen depth. He looks okay. He may never pitch for us, but who knows? Trey Mancini, I moved him to a first baseman. On top of the fact that we already gave him an extension. In real life, in spring training, he's been swapping between DH and first base. So I thought, you know what? Let's move him to first base. That'll be his position moving forward. On top of that, we signed Phil Glover, Yoel Yankee. Tyrone Taylor was sitting in free agency. And the reason I signed him was because I didn't have Nimmo yet. And I thought, you know what? I'll give him a shot. See what happens. If it works, it works. If not, it doesn't. Who else? Tyler Carpenter was signed. Anthony Bass was signed as one of the relievers that was sitting there. He's been decent. I thought, you know what? Let's take a shot with him. Bring him to the team. And then the last two, Taijuan Walker had a decent year last year. $7 mil for the next 3 years. And then we have John Gray, who got $11 mil for the next 3 years. He's been decent with the Rockies. And I thought, you know what? I want to make that change. I want to push to be a better team. And with that in mind, this is what we're gonna rock with. So Keegan Aiken's gonna get that 5 spot. We still have Grayson Rodriguez, DL Hall, and Dean Kremer down here. We also got Benoit and Stapleton. So we've definitely got some pitchers that I'm gonna keep my eye on, because they could easily take over for any of these players if any of them do poorly. Jose Arena is going to be the long reliever. We've got Tate, who's been kind of going up and down. Goody, who we got last year. Paul Fry's been going up and down. Same with Tanner Scott. Hunter Harvey, I actually want to give him the closer spot. I want to see how he does now. 27 years old. I think it's time for him to take the reins there. And we'll have Bass as the setup. And then when you look at our bench, we've got Ruiz getting moved to the bench. He's been too inconsistent. Same thing with Daza. Pat Valleca, I like the power versus lefty, so I'm going to give him the backup second base position. And then Tyrone Taylor. And then when you look at our team now, we've got Nimmo. We've got Santander and right. Mountcastle's been kind of a left fielder for the Orioles. That's what they used most of the time last year. He kind of switched between left field and first. So with Mancini going from left to first, I figured we might as well move Mountcastle back to left, because that's what he's been playing in real life. DJ Stewart's been fantastic for us in this DH spot. I'm going to leave him there. Candelario is now in the squad. We got Jahmai Jones coming up. We'll see how he does. I'm not expecting too much, but who knows? He could surprise me. Severino, and then Renifo was decent last year, so I feel he deserves a shot. Here, we've got some names to look out for. Rutschman definitely could come up and take over for Severino next year. We've got Vavra, Westbrook, Richie Martin, Mullins. We've got Nevin, and then we've got a lot of guys here. Pablo Ortiz could definitely come up soon. Maybe Gunnar Henderson. Heston Kierstead could potentially feature for season 5. I think with the way he's developing, he's a season 5 guy. So we've got names. We've definitely got names. I'm getting pretty excited about some of these youngsters that we have. So yeah, I mean, look at the names that are in free agency. You got Alberto Rojas. Who else? Who's this guy? No. Okay. Didi's still available. Morton, Granke, Upton. So like That's why I went out and got Brandon Nimmo. I felt like it worked. It worked with the squad. Any pending transactions? No. I'm currently interested to see where we're ranked as a team now. 24th. So we still didn't really make a big jump. We were 29th. So there we go. Let's see how we do. So I'm at the deadline. Michael Felice is on the trade block, and I want to pick him up. I need some bullpen help. I'm going to trade Tanner Scott, who's been a pretty bad bullpen arm for us. And then Tyler Nevin. That's going to be the move. I'm also thinking about maybe throwing in like Jonathan Daza just because I don't want him, and I feel like the Pirates would take him, especially since we do need the pitching help. So I'm actually gonna send down. I called up a couple players, and I'm actually gonna keep this Mac guy here. I like his per-9s. I called up Fitch, but I'm looking at his like control and stuff now, and I'm kind of regretting that I did that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send him back down. He got his like quick minute of fame. And let's get this bullpen situated. So there's that. I like that pickup there of Michael Felice. And then we could call somebody up. Who do we call up? Probably Cedric Mullins. I mean, might as well. Boom. There we go. I'll see you guys at the end of the season. So we made it as a wild card team. 84-78, taking on the Red Sox. Okay. I didn't expect that. I really didn't. Especially when I was looking at our record. 84-78. I was like, no way. There's no way we make the postseason, but okay, we did. Team ERA is a little high. Team average is all right. You know, it's close to 270, but yeah, we beat out the Rays by 1 game, and wow, I'm surprised we made the postseason. Like, I'm really surprised. Holy cow. I honestly did not expect that. We have a league leader, Brandon Nimmo, with the most walks, which, okay, good pickup for us. Definitely, I would assume. You know, he also led the league in doubles. Mountcastle's up there as well. Triples, you got Mountcastle, Mancini, and Renifo. And then home runs, anybody? DJ Stewart. I'm telling you, the dude just hits home runs like it's his job. I mean, I guess it is kind of his job, huh? Severino and Mancini, gold gloves. And anything else that we were like kind of in the mix for? Anything at all? Nah, it doesn't look like it. Unfortunate. All right, but you know what? Oh, I'll take it. I mean, it looks like things worked out. Jose Arena, I'm not gonna bring him back. We have players that I have faith in. So he was an experiment. It didn't work out. Mac, not great. Nick Goody is still doing decent. I might keep him around. He's a decent bullpen arm. Paul Fry, contract. Ooh, I don't think I'm gonna bring him back. I'm not even gonna offer him arbitration. He's just not great. Michael Felice was solid. Hunter Harvey was all right. You know, yeah, the ERA is a little high, but the whip is 1.2. We can work with that. He's going to get better. He's only 27. We got a really friendly contract with him. We're going to keep him. And then Anthony Bass as our closer was pretty solid. I did flip them at the deadline, and it worked out for us. John Gray, great pickup for us. Jake Odorizzi was all right. I might keep him, though. It is a club option. $6.5 million, super cheap, too. So I feel like that price, might as well keep him around. John Means is starting to hit his stride. Taijuan Walker was great. And then Keegan Aiken was good. But I'm also kind of interested to see how Kremer does. We've got Rodriguez, Benoit, Hall. You know, like we've got some names down here who are like, hey, we're ready. You know, and we have Arena spot opening up. We could, you know, Keegan Aiken, he's been good. He's been consistent, right? Like 4 ERA. This is actually his worst year so far. So who knows? Who knows what I do next year? Let's see, what do we got here? Anything? Tyrone Taylor actually had a decent little season. The OPS is a little low, but the on-base percentage and average are decent. He just struck out a lot more than he got hits. That was really what killed him. Brandon Nimmo was our leadoff guy. Did the job perfectly. I moved Candelario up to the 2 spot at the deadline, and I mean, he's killing it. I'm definitely going to bring him back. I was really happy with the trade that we got there. Mountcastle's starting to hit stride, really turning into a good player. Only 24, so love it. Trey Mancini took a little bit of a step back, but I still have faith in him. I still think he's going to do great. DJ Stewart is killing it. What are his attributes? Oof, love it. He is killing it. 39 home runs. Ooh. This is the tough one, because like, he looks great. Like, you look at those attributes, you go, man, he's gonna kill it. He's only 27. He could improve, but we've got, what's his name? Pablo Ortiz. We've got Kierstead coming up soon. I feel like we just go with Pablo Ortiz. Save the money. Maybe reinvest it into the bullpen. And then let Santander walk. I like him. I think he's a good player. But I think maybe we go in a different direction. Jahmai Jones is doing okay. Again, it just doesn't look like the hitting stats are improving. Severino was decent. And then Renifo. He's okay, but like we have Vavra. I'll give Vavra the start next year. Rutschman's probably gonna get the start next year, and then Pablo Ortiz. So like, I mean, we're looking strong. I'm liking what we've got here. So we got Chris Sale, John Gray. We won. No way. I didn't expect that. I'm being dead serious. Did not expect that. So game 1 against the Yankees. Now we got Sevy versus Odorizzi. We win. We lose to Garrett Cole. We lost 15-2 there, and we lost 12-8. So, okay. You know what? Not a bad first appearance in the postseason in quite some time. And heading into season 4, I'm liking what I'm seeing. The Reds defeat the Yankees. Excuse me? What do the Reds have? Wow, okay. Miggy is into the Hall of Fame, and let's see what we got here. Oh, I'm definitely taking this option with DJ Stewart. He's been killing it. Jake Odorizzi, I said I was going to take that option as well. Tyrone Taylor. You know what? It was a mill. We'll take it. Severino. It's not letting it wasn't letting me offer him a contract. I'm gonna do a 1-year deal for Severino. He's most likely gonna be a backup now. I'm gonna let Urania walk. Anthony Bass. I'm gonna bring him back. I'm gonna bring him back. 1 more year. We'll do 1 year, 2 mil. And then Felice, I definitely want. I'm going to do a 3-year deal here. 4.7 mil. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. And then Candelario, I want to make this a long-term deal. I'm going to backload it 5-year. I'll even give him a player option. 14.6 mil. I'm okay with that. He was fantastic. Definitely deserves the money. And looking at it, what do we have? Everybody re-signed. Perfect. So offensively, like I said, I think Santander is going to be the one player I let go. It looks like he's got arbitration, but I'd rather just save the money. Like, how much does he want? Probably around 3 to 5 mil. Ah, man, that's tough. I'm gonna make sure those guys don't leave, so I'm gonna add them to the 40. Arbitration, I'm gonna think about Santander. I'm not 100% sure. Same thing with Renifo. I'm not 100% sure. And then I'm going to make sure I offer everybody a contract there. Contracts are like free agency. I feel like we had what? Gray, Means, Taiwan Walker. I'll put Odorizzi there. Aiken here. And then we'll call up one of the guys that we had. Which, I mean, we have plenty of options. You know, Kremer, Rodriguez. Maybe we let Rodriguez develop that walks per 9 1 more season before we call him up. We give Kremer the shot this year. And if it doesn't work out, we can turn to somebody in the bullpen or in the farm system. We'll do that. But I went heavy on the pitching picks because I knew we needed pitching a lot. So there we go. There's that. I'm not going to spend money on anybody. Yeah, we have a little bit of money to work with, but maybe a bullpen arm. I might spend money on a bullpen arm. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's get into season 4. All right, starting season 4, you currently see we're ranked 20th, and let's just hop into the roster history because a lot was done this offseason. Tommy La Stella is a new addition, more of a bench bat, platoon guy. I'm looking for him to kind of just help us out off the bench. That's really what I'm looking for from him. Obviously, Brandon Nimmo is a new addition. Last year, I brought in Alex Colome. He's been really good for the last few seasons. I figured, you know what? Let's get some bullpen help. Jamison Gomes is decent. We've got Kevin McCarthy as depth in the bullpen. We've been lacking just good bullpen arms. I tried to bring in as many pieces as I could just in case some of our MLB ready ones or our MLB pitchers weren't good enough. I can always call up someone like Kevin McCarthy from AAA. We've got Joseph Mottola and Mike Hunter. Interesting name. We got James Pazos. We needed a lefty. He's been decent last 2 seasons. We brought in Thomas Pannone. Again, more depth for the bullpen. We've got Robbie Weller as a draft pick. Michael Felice through a trade. And then Jeimer Candelario as well. So that was kind of my offseason. When you look at the team, you currently see Dean Kremer's going to get a shot here. We've got Keegan Aiken moving to the long relief spot. And then our bullpen currently sits like this. And then the depth pieces of Pannone. We've got Fitch, McCarthy, Altavilla, Robert Parra, who's someone we drafted. And then our starting rotation in the minors looks really, really strong. So I'm liking the way that looks. When you look at the minors for the lineup, Ortiz, Henderson, Westberg, we've got Kierstead. So we've got some bats. And then on top of that, you guys can see our bench currently looks like this. Plus our starting lineup. This is Santander's last year. He had this last season of arbitration. If he doesn't do well, I want at least over 800 for OPS. I need him to do well. Otherwise, we're going to give it to Pablo here, and he's going to be our new right fielder. So we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. But overall, the team's looking good. I have faith in it. We definitely should be a team that at least gets a wild card spot. But let's see how it goes in season 4. All right, so we made it as a wild card team, 98-64. And I'm looking at that record and I go, dang, we must have just missed out on the division, because that's a really good record, and we missed it by 12 games. Wow, okay. Maybe okay. The Yankees are just killing it, apparently. So the White Sox are in first, the Angels, the Orioles, obviously we're the Orioles. And then looking around the league, 85-77 in the Central. Dang, I wish we were in the Central. Would have made it as a division winner. John Means, talk about absolutely killing it. Who else absolutely killed it this year? Because I'm looking, I don't know. I kind of want to make a trade. Obviously, it would be in the offseason or at the start of next season. But I kind of want to make a trade, but at the same time, I feel like we've got a really good team. I just think we need something. Maybe a free agent sign-in. Maybe trade one of our 40s shortstop prospects / second baseman. There's definitely something that I want to do. I don't know what it is yet. I mean, when you look at the pitching, you'll see that there are some issues. I think Keegan Aiken in this spot, maybe even the 5 spot in the rotation might be the move. But he really did well in the long relief spot. So I might leave him here. Nick Goody struggled, so I'm going to look to bring in someone else as he becomes a free agent. Colomé is going down, so it's one of those things where I'm going to look at the farm system, see if we have someone that can replace him. I'm pretty sure we do. Pazos was really good. Feliz was really good. Bass was decent. Was actually, you know what? I'm not going to complain about that. That was actually pretty good. And then Hunter Harvey, I just don't think he's a closer. I think he's more of a middle relief guy. I mean, he's been very, very consistent the last few years. I just feel like how many blown saves the last 2 years? 15. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great. You know what I mean? I definitely want to go out and find a real closer. I feel like that's what we're missing. We do have, you know, like I said, we have the depth. You know, McCarthy could be decent. Altavilla, I've tried giving him shots. He's just, I guess I gave him one shot. And he wasn't great. Did anybody else get some innings at all? Doesn't look like it. Okay. I'm pretty sure someone got called up. Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall. Both of them got absolutely shelled in their small appearances in the bigs. John Gray, pretty good season. Same thing with John Means. Taijuan Walker was all right. He's got one more year. I'm going to keep him. Jake Odorizzi, again, not a terrible season, but I'm definitely be looking to bring up somebody to replace Odorizzi. And then Dean Kremer, like, I want to give him another shot, but like we've got different options that could definitely come up and help us. I think this Michael Benoit guy could be really good. I think he's going to strike out a lot of people. I'm just worried about the hits and walks per 9. I don't know. We could go DL Hall, Grayson Rodriguez. Just the walks per 9 being so low on these guys worries me. And I feel like Wilson Stapleton might be the best option between all of those pitchers right there. But we'll have to wait and see. And then looking at our bench, Rio Ruiz just, I don't know, man, just never really put it together. I'm going to let him walk in free agency. Tommy LaStella, probably going to let him walk too. But like I said, this is what I was looking for, just for him to get on base off the bench. Severino's been a good bench bat for us. Renifo, he's been all right. He becomes a free agent. Just really depends on how much he wants. Tyrone Taylor, probably going to let him walk. That experiment just wasn't great. And then back to Rio Ruiz. Brandon Nimmo, still putting up good numbers. Really happy with this signing. He's got one more year, so he'll be here for the final season. Candelario, we gave him an extension, and he took a step back from this season. I might drop him down to maybe like the 6th or 5th spot in the lineup. We'll have to wait and see. I definitely want to try to find like just some better bats. Mountcastle, great season. Mancini, fantastic. DJ Stewart, man, He is doing what I wanted Santander to do. He's been great. Santander, I'm going to let walk. Not a terrible season, just I want better productions. Jahmai Jones is getting better. It looks like his contact and power went up a little bit, so that's good to see. I might give him one more year. We'll see how it goes. Rutschman was Rookie of the Year, and then Taron Vavra actually looks pretty decent. I'm gonna rock with him at shortstop. He looks pretty good. We have crazy amount of shortstops. We have Henderson, who, if I'm gonna trade a prospect, it's gonna be him. We also have Westberg, who was a shortstop, but I moved him to second base because we had so many shortstops. We also have Hall, Graffinino. I think we had a couple others that are chilling somewhere else too. And this guy's getting called up. He's going to replace Santander. And then DJ Stewart's going to stay as our DH just because he's been so good. And then I want to get Kierstead in. I might call him up to replace Taylor. And that's really about it. So offensively, I think we have the pieces to be okay. Like not make any changes to the team. If I were to, maybe go out and get a really good second baseman. But I really want to focus on the pitching rotation here. We have people to take for Odorizzi. I want to try to get a true closer. That's my big move for the offseason. But this is more important. We're facing the Astros, the cheaters, the trash can bangers, whatever you want to call them. Let's hop into this game, see how it goes. We're gonna let John Means take the mound because he's been our better pitcher so far. Looking at the team, CJ Cron's new. Delano DeShields Jr., but okay. I'm feeling good. We're facing Jose Urquidy. I have faith in the squad here. Okay, we got a single, but nothing came of it. And then another single. 2 singles. Okay, nothing. 2 singles, no mingle. You know what I mean? And then, jeez, a single or a run scores there. Is it really going to be like a 1-0 game? Brandon Nimmo, please. Runner thrown out. Oh, man. That's tough. That's just not what you want, you know? This is the inning. Do something offense. Anything at all. We get out of that. I mean, the pitcher duel. There we go. Adley, Rushman, whatever it is. Love seeing that. A strikeout, a fielder's choice. Oh, come on. And all right, 8 innings, 1-run ball for John Means. I can't get greedy here. I can't. I got greedy. Yeah, he's out. Okay. We're gonna go to, let's go Bass or Base. He gets out of the inning. Perfect. I need you to get on base, Jahmai Jones or Adley or Taron. Just get on base, man. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew it. I just saw the lefty matchup, and I in my mind I was like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I knew it. I knew it. As soon as I saw the lefty come up, I knew it. Unless Trey Mancini walks it off here, that's a tough game to lose. Something about that Kyle Tucker coming up, lefty versus righty, just something wasn't sitting right. And in that split second that I decided the pitch, I knew it was gone. I knew it was gone. So unfortunately, we get knocked out in the wild card again. A really tough game there. I got to bring back John Means. For some reason, he's very unhappy that we're not a contender, even though we've made the postseason in back-to-back years. But whatever. Now I'm going to have to pay players more. I'm going to pick up John Means. Or not John Means. John Gray. Joe Gray? John Gray. Joe Gray. What's this guy's name? John Gray. Jesus. Taijuan Walker. I forgot it was an option. Ooh, okay, so I said Santander is gonna walk. I'm gonna let Odorizzi go. How much does Severino want to be a backup? Dude, we are contenders. That's the thing. He's gonna be a platoon, but I'll give him $6 million. Colomé, I'm gonna let walk. Rio Ruiz. Anthony Bass has been good, and he's not dropping in rating. I'm gonna bring him back for another year. He's not gonna be our closer, but he can hop into the bullpen. Nick Goody, I'm gonna let walk. Listella, Pazos, I'm gonna bring back. I'm just trying to think of what to do with Taijuan Walker. I did say, do I keep it? $7 million is nothing. We are gonna lose 2 starters, right? Do we have 2 that I have faith in, like, calling up to really help us out? Or we let those 2 walk and we use that money, get 1 good pitcher, and then let one of the younger guys fight it out for that last spot. That might be the move. That might be the move. So I'm gonna decline the option. So the only offers on the table are Means, Severino, Bass, and Pazos. There we go. That's what we're gonna do. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We'll figure it out. Budget wise, ooh, yeah, one good pitcher. One good pitcher, and we also need a closer. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna offer everybody arbitration and contracts. Looking at this, definitely want to bring in somebody. One good pitcher. It'll probably be someone again that is like a Taiwan Walker, maybe a little bit young or a little bit younger, a little bit better. Definitely need some bullpen arms, but we do have some in the farm system and like depth pieces. And I want a closer. What closers are available? One of these two. That's really what it comes down to. Already final season time, and I feel like this is this team. This is the team for sure. And this is what we have. So I'm not worried about the draft. We got Jonathan Scope, brought him back. I just felt like it was something that I had to do. We also signed Daniel Vogelbach, just another lefty power bat. He hasn't been great, but you know what? Maybe this will be a renaissance for him. And then I'm going to take a shot on a new pitcher. Normally, I don't like having him on the team, but ignore the whip. But he had 35 saves and only 3 blown saves last year. And I thought, you know what? We'll give him a shot. I tried to get Giovanni Gallegos, and he ended up going back to the Yankees on like a 5-year, I think it was like 5 years, 50 mil or something like that. Because I offered him 5 years, 40 mil or something. I offered him 3 years, 22, and it was more than what the Cardinals were offering him at 3 years, but he went to the Yankees instead. So unfortunately wasn't able to get the deal done, but I'm gonna let Hunter Harvey here. We're gonna go Newcomb as our closer, and this is gonna be our bullpen. Again, we've got some goons down here that, you know, I'm going to keep my eye on. I brought back Colome just as a depth piece. Same thing with McCarthy. We've got DL Hall. I got to call up a couple pitchers from like single A and stuff to fill out the rest of the roster. But you guys can see we've got some names that I'm definitely keeping my eye on. I'm going to call up Burgess to go to AAA. But these guys here are all waiting to get the call up because I did bring back Taiwan Walker. I felt like if I was going to spend the money, I need to be smart about it, especially since I paid Sean Newcomb, I think a 2-year deal, 8 mil. I brought back a lot of the relievers. I'd rather have depth than just blow all my money on nothing. That way, if one player is not doing well, we can call somebody up and replace them. And here, Taiwan Walker, if he doesn't do well, we can replace him with Grayson Rodriguez, Benoit, Stapleton, Hall, maybe even Burgess, maybe even Omar Garcia. We've got names. And then same thing with if Keegan Aiken doesn't do well, Dean Kremer doesn't do well. We've got the replacements. Taking a more realistic approach where teams are more focused on depth right now. I feel like that's kind of the thing that teams are focused on, depth. And then when you look at the team, here we go. This is the squad. Kierstead's called up. We've got Jonathan Scope, Severino, Renifo, Vogelbach, and then boom, there it is. I like this team. I feel like we've done a really good job in handling the squad. You guys can see what we have here. Definitely need to sign a couple players to fill out the rest of like the farm system, but we've done it while staying within budget. It's a little tight. Obviously, Baltimore doesn't have the biggest budget, but we've been able to do it. John Gray becomes a free agent. Nimmo becomes a free agent, and a couple other guys. So you definitely have the money to pay your players next year, but we've done a really good job at focusing on free agency. I think we've only made a couple trades, and I don't even want to make a trade now. I feel like the team that we've put together here has been really good. And if I need to, maybe we trade some of those starting pitching prospects for a really good starting pitcher, maybe at the deadline of like one of the bad teams. We'll have to wait and see. Offensively though, I think we're good, but let's see how this final season goes. I want to see what we're ranked here with this team. We are ranked 17th. Not bad. We got some really good hitting stats. It's just the pitching, maybe the worst defense in the league. That kind of hurts us too, but I feel like we're doing pretty well, and I feel like we're making the postseason. Just how far into it can we go? I'll see you guys at the end of it. Another 100-win season, or actually this is our first 100-win season, and we're a wild card team again, taking on the Astros, and I don't know how we didn't beat the Yankees. 4 games, man, come on. So throughout the season, I was keeping an eye on the pitching. That was our biggest issue. And you're going to see some interesting names that are in our rotation because there was some players were really letting me down this year. But we'll take a look at the league leaders, see how everything's looking. We're currently ranked 18th. Pitching is clearly not an issue. I mean, look at that ERA. That's a good team ERA. The average is looking good. I just think we just had a tough time. We just got unlucky. Any other division in baseball, any other division in baseball, we take the division. Maybe not the Dodgers, but like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. League leaders: Mountcastle had the best average, and then Nimmo had the most runs and walks. So, like I said, we've definitely put together a really good team. We were just unlucky that we had to face the Yankees a bunch, and that was really the difference for us being, you know, division winners or a wild card spot. So let's see what we got. A silver slugger and a couple gold gloves. Love to see that. Man, Mountcastle didn't even make a nomination for MVP. That's tough. That's really tough. Looking at the batting title, I mean, 27 home runs, so I can see why that's a bit of an issue. But I mean, he had a really good year. So I guess maybe the low power numbers were the big reason why he wasn't in the mix for MVP. So now you'll see some names here. Dave Burgess got called up, and a little bit rough, but when you look at like Keegan Aiken struggled a lot. Grayson Rodriguez, he got better as the season went on, but he struggled a lot at the beginning of the year. And then DL Hall didn't even get a shot this year, which really should have given him a shot, but his walks per 9 are the same as Grayson Rodriguez, so I'm expecting similar production. Thomas Pannone, really good season. Same with James Pazos, Michael Feliz. This was actually a really underrated pickup from us. That was actually really good. Hunter Harvey, again, struggled. Hate to see it. Anthony Bass was really good. And then Sean Newcomb did struggle. 8 blown saves. Hate to see that. But looking at our starters, we got John Means, great pitcher for us. John Gray, same thing. Taijuan Walker was good. Dean Kremer, and then Wilson Stapleton. This was what, second season, first season? I don't remember, but the dude was one of our best pitchers, and he did very, very well. Like, I'm actually really happy with him coming up and making a difference. Heston Kierstead, not a bad season, 47 games, 168 at bats, not terrible. Definitely has a chance to make it because one player did terrible this year. Jonathan Scope was all right. Severino, decent backup. Renifo had a pretty good year. And then Daniel Vogelbach. Look at those numbers. Love it. So the one person that I know had a really bad year is our DH, DJ Stewart. Everybody else was decent, and I'm not going to complain. Mountcastle, great. Trey Mancini's putting up really good numbers. He's got a few years left, and he's still killing it. Love to see it. But DJ Stewart. So for the postseason, I'm bringing in Vogelbach. He's taking over. Jahmai Jones just isn't doing it. This would be a player I would look to either let walk in free agency, not even offer him arbitration, and just look to use somebody else. Someone like a Gunnar Henderson or Westberg, or even just sign somebody, to be honest. Or heck, I might give Scope the run out for the postseason here because hopefully we beat the Astros, but that was just disappointing from Jahmai Jones. I was really hoping he would have turned into something special. Unfortunately, he didn't. And so where are we here? Pablo Ortiz struggled, which sucks because he's got really good hitting stats. I would have expected a little bit better from him for sure. Vavra, the OPS is actually pretty high, so it just looks like he strikes out quite a bit, which he'll improve. He's only 26. He actually looks like a pretty decent player. Adley Rutschman, pretty decent year. And then Jonathan Scope's going to hop into the team. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the team. You know, the fact that we were able to consistently make the postseason in one of the tougher divisions in baseball is pretty impressive. So now let's take on the Astros. Hopefully we don't get our hearts broken once again. But John Means, take the mound. We've got a repeat of last year. Kyle Tucker, please don't do anything. This time it's Lance McCullers instead of who was on the mound last year for them? Urquidy. I like this. I like this a lot. A bases clearing double. Oh yes, this is what I needed last year. Look at all these runs. 6-0. Now Urquidy's in. You think Urquidy's gonna stop me? Oh no, please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Okay, we got out of it. Only 2 runs allowed. Pablo Ortiz, 2 for 2 on the day. Have yourself a afternoon, a evening, whatever time this game is played at. All right, please get out of it. That might be it for John Means. He's looking a little rough. Candelario goes deep. I mean, this is just a like offensive shootout. 9-4 in the 5th inning. Jeez. What do we got here? Fielder's choice and then a ground out. Okay. Ooh, I gotta take John Means out. Let's not get greedy here. Michael Felice gets us out of the inning. Perfect. And so far, if Michael Felice can give me 2 innings, I'm happy there. Really happy about that. And an error. Let's see here. Got a couple lefties coming up soon, but if Bass can get us out of this before they come up, that would be huge. Pazos comes in, faces the lefties, gets us out of it. What? No, you can't do. No, you just not again, man. Not again. Not like this. Who do we gotta face? Ken Giles. Come on, Daniel Vogelbach, you absolute beautiful man. You gorgeous giant human being. You are a godsend. Thomas Pannone, come in. Please don't let this get out of hand. Let's walk it off right here. Brandon Nimmo gets on base. Candelario strikes out. Hate to see it. This is kind of a dangerous part of the lineup, so I'm gonna go to Burgess and hopefully this doesn't get bad. Fielder's choice, strikeout, perfect. Right here. This is the part I want up to walk it off. Please. Dude, a roller coaster of emotions, man. And I hated every second of it. Hated every second of it. All right, John Means is gonna go right here. And we're gonna rock like that. Please take it on the Yankees. That's a tough loss right there. We get that win. We take a loss there, and if we lose this, we're done. So, do we go back to like a Dean Kremer? Do we go somewhere else? Who do we go to here? Do we go Taijuan Walker, who got shelled, or do we give it to Wilson Stapleton and see if the young guy can do it? We're gonna give it to the rookie Stapleton. And okay, no runs in the first. That's a good start. And then we don't score either, which is tough. First and second against Stanton, dude. Bases loaded. Okay, 1 runner's out. Another run scores. Okay, it's not his day. Let's go Walker. Hopefully he can. Jeez, man. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Okay, we do get 1 though. So we might have to inch our way back into this game, but we're going to do it. I just need the offense to do anything. The offense is not doing their part at all. Okay, Mountcastle grounds out. Like, man, we've done really well outside of that second inning, man. We really did do well. Okay, Rutschman, Vavra, like, we're getting the runners on, man. We're not taking advantage of it. Yeah, Glaber goes deep and everything, but like, we've had chances to score and we're not a double play. You hate seeing this, man. You hate to see it. We get out of it. We got 2 innings left for our season. It's just not doing it. It's just not meant to be. So let's take a look here. Mancini 1 for 4. Mountcastle 0 for. Nimmo 0 for. Scope 0 for. Ortiz, Rutschman. It's just. Do we pinch hit here? I guess who's gonna come up? Yeah, we'll pinch hit. We'll go to Stewart. He strikes out. A single. Okay. A fielder's choice. A 2-run home run. Oh, don't play with my heart like this. Don't play with my heart like this. A pop-up, dude. Ugh. The Yankees end up defeating the Mets, so an all-New York affair in the World Series, and we lose it there. Oh, man. That second inning, that was the difference maker there. That was the difference maker. Man, we lose, yeah, the second inning. Outside of that, we scored 5 runs. Man, we went with the youngster, hoping he could do it. I didn't have faith in Kremer. Taijuan Walker, probably should have given it to him. That's just an oversight on my part, but we were stuck in a tough position. We're in an elimination game. Taijuan Walker got absolutely shelled the last time he pitched, so I just didn't have faith in getting the win there with him. He came in and shut it down, but hindsight's 2020, and unfortunately we're knocked out by the Yankees, who beat us in the division. So there's the Orioles realistic rebuild. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoying the content, and of course get in the comment section. Let me know what video you want to see next, what team you want to see next, and of course go check out that second channel. There's gonna be a video. It could be, I'm not gonna tell you what it is. You gotta go check it out. I'll see you guys over there. I'll catch you on the next one.